get back. I got my backbone back. I'm lifted up. Well, I'm lifted up. I'm lifted up. I'm lifted up. I'm lifted up. Welcome to What's the Story? My name is Janice Hermson, and I am your host today.
Hey.
Usually, anyway. Right? I'm usually the one.
Hey, before the show,
Well, you got to put that microphone down before anybody's going to hear you, buddy. What are you a rookie or what?
Are you master of your own domain?
I know.
What's going on?
Jeez,
See, if you
Louise.
show up a couple minutes earlier, you might be able to.
I know.
You can practice that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, hello, Ed. What a great opener, huh?
Well, we are just like stunningly brilliant, right? We just hit him right between the eyes.
Absolutely.
Hey, I'm used to it. I'm big. I got shoulders.
Yes,
What
and
can
you
I
worked
say?
for big too, so
Yeah.
we know you know big.
Yeah.
You're all about big.
Yeah.
Best I know, we're all serving them,
Yeah, well, these days we are.
aren't we?
Isn't that the truth? My goodness gracious.
What's our new clock there?
Yeah, see, if you got here a little earlier, you'd know that.
So
I
that's
can't help it, Doug. I just
You know
can't help
what?
it. You're the one I'm going to pick on today. That's the way it works.
I'll tell you what, and I deserve it. I leave a little bit earlier every day, and I look at the clock, and I go, my God, where did the time go?
Yeah, it's just
Oh,
gone. It's just gone.
I swear I'm trying to do better.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we are going to have ourselves an awesome guest today. Her name is Ellen Gifford. We may have to have her onto our second segment, and then we'll have her for
oh,
2
she's
segments.
wordy then.
She's got a lot to talk about.
I think so.
Whoa, back up the truck here a second. Is she late?
No, she's not, as
So
a matter of fact.
So what? You looking
She
for
is
someone
not.
to be later than you?
Yeah, that's
Absolutely. I'm looking for sympathy here.
That's right. No,
No.
you're looking for a scapegoat is what you're looking for.
She is one of the worker bees that I'm trying to get people to get out and do stuff, and she's already doing it. She's looking at me saying, "Get out there."
That's right. That's very true. And she is definitely a worker bee. She's going to tell us all about her organization and why she decided to start it.
Awesome.
And that was multitasking, that little
Yeah.
pause in my voice there. That
So,
was called
I like the
multitasking.
pregnant pause. Right? That should be word of the day.
Nope, we have a different word of the day.
What?
We have a wonderful word of
Oh,
the day.
it's a good one.
Serendipitous.
Serendipity or serendipitous.
Either one, yes, depends.
Yeah.
But I wanted it to be
Oh,
serendipitous.
you don't know what it means?
No, I did. So best I know, it's my philosophy of life. Are you kidding me? I mean, best I know, it is synonymous with make magic and my little unicorn and signs and right. Every day we can make serendipitous,
Easy for you to say.
serendipitous happenings.
You know
Ah.
what? The first synonym that they gave was accidental. So what you're saying is your life just happens accidentally?
So no, I'm creating my own word because that's totally wrong, right? I mean, you think deja vu is accidental?
Oh my goodness! Sorry, folks.
Well, the second is
But to me, it's
lucky.
so it's like we make our own luck, right? So you make your own luck and you're not a victim. It's the power of the mind and manifestation. It's all those things you want to be,
You know
you
what?
see and become, and you walk through the door and you happen.
Yeah, we have GD with us today. He said it's Pick on Doug Tuesday.
Oh. That's okay. That's okay.
That's-
Bring it
that's-
on.
So hold on.
Bring it on.
We actually have listeners in like the nation's capital making fun of Doug. I love it.
Wait a minute. I can put that on a resume.
I think so.
And look who has joined us. We have Ellen Gifford. She is here. Hello, Ellen.
Hi. Welcome to What's the Story. Glad you could make it. And no, she was not late. She's right on time.
Oh, good. I didn't make a mistake.
No, ma'am. You don't make mistakes.
Right?
You deal in the law. You don't make mistakes, right? So Ellen is with an organization called Volunteer Nevada, and I'm going to let her explain a little bit about it. Ellen, we're only going to have a couple of minutes in this segment for you, but we're going to keep you on through for a bit, so you're going to be fine. Just do a highlight of who you are and your organization.
Okay, I'm Ellen Gifford. I'm actually in Clark County, but I'm working with volunteers. I should say we, because there's several of us that are working with volunteers all over the state of Nevada, and we are training them on how to observe elections, how to determine if the laws are being followed, what to do if the laws are not being followed, and how to call your hotline if you need help.
And who is that hotline, Ellen?
That hotline is Volunteer Nevada.
That's right. That's right. And in the primaries for Nevada, whether they were in Washoe County or anywhere around the state of Nevada, including Clark, you got Ellen, and Ellen was the one who was helping you out. So she's very knowledgeable. She has a lot of good information that she's going to share, and she's going to also tell you what you can do as a volunteer to help your community, anywhere in Nevada. And she's got some awesome training going on. I mean, just wonderful things. So Ellen, we're glad you're with us. We are going to have to take a little break here pretty quick, not right away, but in just a few seconds here. Why are you laughing?
Well, you said, no, we're going to take a break. It's not right now, but it's in 25 seconds.
That's right. Well, I didn't want her to think we're cutting away right that second. She just got here. So.
And we have clocks to look at.
We do. We have clocks to watch. You would never know that, would you? All right, we're going to take that break that I've been talking about, and then we'll hear more from Ellen Gifford of Volunteer Nevada.
Businesses, writers, check this out. Go to lrpnv.com to get your printing, publishing, and professional services today. Need a virtual office? A place to receive and forward your mail with professional address and suite number for your business? Someone to answer your telephones? Want to rent a conference room for only $15 an hour? What about that book you've been wanting to have printed? LRP Printing and Business Center can do it for you, and they have a professional assistant on site daily, Monday through Friday. Just call 775-356-1004. Need copies, business cards, invoices, books, booklets, or graphic design to help brand you or your business? Just call 775-356-1004 or go to lrpnv.com. With a great selection of new and used books, you can get your printing done and a book to entertain you in your time off. And don't forget, you could have your business sponsoring the Bookhound Radio Show, just like Andrew Martoni, author of Little Man in the Map, does every week. Just go to lrpnv.com. That's lrpnv.com or call 775-356-1004. They'll provide solutions for your business and writing projects.
Sliced fresh sandwiches every day, made right before your eyes. The Port of Subs way could be a smoking number 5 or a classic number 8, or maybe an Italian is your number 1 fave. Whatever you crave, prepare to fall in love. Sliced fresh sandwiches, Port of Subs.
Port of Subs is celebrating 50 years as your neighborhood sandwich shop. We're saying mahalo to our customers with a chance to win a dream vacation to Maui for 4. Imagine spending a week lounging on sun-drenched beaches and falling asleep to the sound of rolling waves. Entering is easy. Visit portofsubs.com to enter to win Port of Subs' 50th anniversary getaway and join our Port Perks program for fun and delicious ways to earn extra entries. Aloha. No purchase necessary.
Whatever your number you're dreaming of, sliced fresh sandwiches, Port of Subs.
Barbecue the Butcher's Kitchen would like to thank every customer for your loyalty and continued support through these challenging times. Call for takeout and delivery of rib tips, brisket, ahi, tuna, roasted veggies, and much more. Barbecue's open from 11 to 7. Monday through Saturday, and delivers hot food safe and healthy. Call 499-5855 for details. 499-5855 Charbecue, as featured on diners, drive-ins, and dives. Get real. Get into Charbecue Reno.
Meet Ed, movie buff, animal lover, safe driver.
5 years of driving an ambulance teaches you a thing or two. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. When I see a car trying to rush past a turning bus, I get concerned. You see, when big vehicles turn right, they have to swing wide to make the turn. And that's a lesson you don't want to learn the hard way. When trucks and buses turn, let's you and I wait.
It's our roads. It's our safety. Visit www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
Wake up, the sun below. Got another road to sow. Let the fire feel the hope. Swelling up from the depths of my soul.
To join the conversation, call 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. This is What's the Story? I'm Janice Hermson. I'm your host, and we are here today along with my two co-hosts, Doug Ashby and Ed Knoll. We have Ellen Gifford of Volunteer Nevada. Welcome back, Ellen.
Thank you. We really appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you. And what I would like you to do right now, you started this journey quite a while ago, not just yesterday. And I'd love for you to share with our audience how you got involved in election integrity and teaching folks how to volunteer and be an observer or a poll worker.
I'm glad to do that. It actually started back when Catherine Engelbrecht was first getting True the Vote off the ground, and Jenny Beth Martin was getting Tea Party Patriots off the ground. At that time, there was a group in California, and they began noticing things didn't look right in their elections. And they did a little deeper investigation and said, you know what, there's some shenanigans going on here for certain. And so they initiated an organization called Election Integrity Project California. And that's where I was. And I joined up with them and worked with them for 10 years until I moved here to Nevada. And what I was doing, I was actually on the board of the Election Integrity Project in California. And I helped recruit and train volunteers to be observers at the elections. And then I moved here to Nevada in 2019. And in May of 2021, after the 2020 elections were over, I said, I want to get involved in this. I've been doing this. I know how to do this, and I see a great need for it in Nevada. And I met another woman. Her name is Sheila Sterling, and she was anxious to get involved and find out what the heck was going on with our beautiful election process. And so we initiated Volunteer Nevada in May of 2021. Sheila got busy putting our website together, and I got busy talking to people who had volunteered in the 2020 election. And I got a lot of good information from them. And one of the most important things they shared with me was that they had a very difficult time figuring out what it was they were supposed to be looking for when they were working as observers, or poll watchers, they were called, in the 2020 election.
I think that makes a lot of sense, because you go into, if you've never worked an election before, you go into it, and how do you know what you're looking for? You're not really expecting to see anything blatant, so there must be some guidelines for that. So that's kind of what you're helping folks do.
That's exactly right. After talking to folks, we went ahead and put together our training. It took many months because we decided we were going to base our training on the Nevada Election Code statutes and regulations. And that's what we did. And we ended up with what we call the election observations reference document. And our volunteer observers have that document to take with them and carry with them the whole time that they're observing, because that's their reference to the laws for our election process. And it helps them because it describes the way the process is supposed to look. It helps them to determine if the process is being followed properly.
And an interesting part of the conversation from 2022 is that the Nevada state statutes were not updated. Am I correct? Or was it the statutes or was it the regulations?
Well,
or was it both?
It was both.
Oh dear.
So yes, it was necessary to go back to the bills that were passed last year to build our reference document. And then we had to go back to the regulations. Of course, the bills were passed in 2021 in May. And then the regulations that were initiated by the Secretary of State, that was all done in February. And yes, we had to go to those bills and those regulations in order to build our document and make sure that we had it right.
And one of the reasons I brought that up is because I think that it's important to note that had somebody wondered, hey, is this legal or not, they would have gone to the NRS codes and said, oh, yes, no, whatever the answer might be.
Yes, no, Supreme Court.
Exactly. and it wouldn't have been accurate, and that's kind of a problem. I mean, what if one of the registrars did that, right? I mean, what if they didn't know it hadn't been updated?
Exactly, and not only that, but there were some laws that were not supposed to even be up there anymore because they had gotten rid of them when they passed those bills. And those laws were still sitting up there, even though they were repealed. And if a person went up there and looked, they'd never know the difference.
Right. And what a difficult thing to experience right now when, in fact, we have a lot of folks that are not comfortable with what's happening with our elections. They feel distrust, and then you find this out, and all it does is make more distrust.
Exactly.
So you developed the training, and it was based on the statutes. How can folks go about participating? Is there do they have to have certain requirements? Do they have to know certain things? Age,
So right ethnicity, right short, long hair, eye color.
None of that matters. What matters is if you care about your elections and the honesty and the fairness and the truth about your elections, then we need you. We need you very badly. I wanted to also mention that we launched that reference document in the recent elections in the primary, and we had volunteers that came back and said, I felt empowered. I felt empowered because I had that reference document with me when I went to observe. So we were very excited about that. And what we're doing now is we're doing some updates to it so that it can be used in the November election. But all you need to do is go to our website. Should I give you that right now?
Sure, go ahead. And I've got it posted on Facebook also.
Thank you so much. www.volunteernevada.com. And what will happen is you'll get in there, you'll provide us with your contact information, and we will give you a call within a couple of days. What we do ask, we have a monthly meeting. We ask all of our volunteers to be certain to attend our monthly meetings because we provide information in those meetings about any changes. We provide information about what the county clerks are up to. And by the way, we want to build a team in every county. So it doesn't matter what county you're in. We've worked with people in Washoe, in Story, So don't let whatever county you're in stop you from volunteering.
And we have 17 of those in Nevada, so all 17 should be participating.
Exactly. We'd like to build teams. We're looking for people who'd like to lead teams in their county, volunteer observers. And I also want to say we've trained a number of people who are working at the polls, because they don't really get the laws in the training they get, because there's a lot to learn about just conducting the process of processing the voters. So I invite even the people that are going to be working at the polls to take our training. That training.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just going to say, so Ed here is going to have some free time. His son's going off to college. How can we make him a leader? I'm recruiting right now. You hear me, Ellen?
And I thought everything was going along great.
How can we make him a leader?
All he has to do is go to our website, www.volunteernevada.com, provide his information, and he'll get a phone call, and we'll have a long chat about what they'd like to do. We have some need for research. We have some need for people who know social media. And before I forget, the training, even though it may sound like a lot, it's only one session, and that session is 2 hours long.
Wow,
Okay.
nice.
Can you do it?
I think I probably could. So
He didn't know I was going to do this to him, by the way. You're lucky I didn't pick on you, Doug.
So I have a question. I love what you do, and I feel a little more warm and fuzzy knowing that your disciples are out there. So are the folks partisan?
We are nonpartisan. As I said, if you love your elections and you want your elections to be fair and honest, we want you.
Very good.
Super.
That's excellent. And that's as it should be for these types of organizations. I mean, we have enough right, left, in between. We don't need them in training. We need them to just tell the truth and just move forward. And
I think we should do the same thing with politics that we do with he and she, right? Come up with pronouns, right? It's the same.
She's going to swear now. Look
Oh,
out.
sorry. Didn't mean to fire you up there. I'm just a neutral ballot volunteer.
All right, we're going to bring Ellen back in the next segment, but we're going to take a break right now. We'll be right back.
Hey ladies, mark the date on your calendar. September 10th, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Reno Sparks Convention Center. Stylish Woman Expo. It's a full day of women's activities. Join the fun and get in on the know of what's happening to today's woman for an exciting day of entertainment. They're going to focus on Reno's best bands to compete for the grand prize. Hairdressers will create outrageous hair design. And for our VIP guests, serving free breakfast lunch sponsored by Peavine Tap House. And free lunch, serving barbecue ribs, beans, and dinner roll, sponsored by Rail City. Giveaways, hundreds of prizes. Also demonstrations, including gun safety for women. It's a day to remember. Reno Mayor Hillary Sheevy will speak on women's mental health. Remember, September 10th, Reno Sparks Convention Center. Tickets are $25 admission and $35 for VIP. More details at the website, festivalofshows.com. Join us for the fun, ladies. It's a day just for us. Stylish Woman Expo.
Slice the sandwiches every day, made right before your eyes. The Port of Subs way could be a smoking number 5 or a classic number 8, or maybe an Italian is your number 1 fave. Whatever you crave, prepare to fall in love. Slice fresh sandwiches, Port of Subs.
Port of Subs is rolling into summer with our Kickin' Chicken Bundle Meal. We've bundled our classic number 16, sliced fresh roasted chicken breast, layered with spicy pepperoni and pepper jack cheese on fresh baked pepperoncini pepper jack bread. Served with zesty Miss Vicky's jalapeno chips, an ice cold Sprite, and a warm Ghirardelli brownie for a meal that'll heat you up and cool you down. It's here for a limited time at Port of Subs. Order online at portofsubs.com or on our app. Port of Subs, celebrating 50 years of slicing fresh.
Whatever your number, you're dreaming of. Slice fresh sandwiches, Port of Subs.
Did you realize that radio advertising doesn't cost? It pays.
America Matters Media has an opening for a person who would like to represent our sales department on a full or part-time commission basis. Prior sales experience preferable. So, if you have good presentation, negotiation, organization, and communication skills, America Matters wants to talk to you. Contact Eddie Floyd, 775-384-4444. Do it today.
Beach & Sons Mechanical. Complete air conditioning service, repair, maintenance, and installations. Most all makes and models serviced, including mini split systems. Beach & Sons Residential and Commercial, bringing quality air to your family. Call 775-737-0055, 737-0055. Beach & Sons, family owned and operated, American made. Beach & Sons, stay cool.
Want to expand your advertising dollar? Sponsor this or any America Matters program by calling 775-827-8900, extension 2. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. This is What's the Story? I'm Janice Hermson, and we have been talking to Ellen Gifford of Volunteer Nevada, and she covers the whole state of Nevada as far as her volunteer program. With the advent of the Zooms and all the rest of the different kinds of products that are out there to be able to have online virtual meetings, Ellen trains all over, and so you really should take a look at volunteernevada.com and see what they have to offer. And I want to ask you right now, Ellen, because in looking at your website, one of the things that you have on there that people are going to come across is, and I'm going to get there right this very second, is incident report. So you've got home, about, volunteer, typical stuff and how to contact you, but incident report. Let's talk about the incident reports that are completed by the volunteers, how they learn how to do it, what they want to cover, that type of thing. Can you share that with us?
Absolutely. That's part of the training. We do have the incident reports, and there's one incident report called a volunteer incident report. And we also, on our website, have a witness incident report, so that if there's somebody out there who sees something and they don't know what to do, and they find out about our website, or they know about our website, they can go and download that incident report, complete it, and send it to us. What is that incident report? Well, that helps me be able to talk about the incredible volunteer people that take their own time to go out as trained observers and look for the laws that might be broken. If they see the laws being broken, as I said, we train them on a process. If they see that something isn't happening the way it's supposed to, they go to the lead election board officer, call it to their attention, and look for it to get resolved. And if it doesn't get resolved, then that's when they use that incident report so that they can document the fact that the law wasn't followed, and they sign that under penalty of perjury, and then they get that incident report back to us. And that can be used for multiple things. It can be used in a legal case if necessary. It can also be used as an example that we can take to our election officials and say, look, this is what's happening. We've got volunteers out there watching. They've documented problems. We need to get these problems fixed.
So it's really a tool more than it is that you're looking to go out there and produce legal cases and cause problems.
Exactly.
Okay.
We're not out to get the bad guy.
No, we're just trying to enforce what's supposed to already be being done.
Facilitators.
Facilitators. There you go. It's good. That's good. Well, and one of the things I wanted to say about the incident report, so you're going to submit those. First, you're going to go, if you see something happening as a volunteer, I'm going to go to the lead person. If I'm at a voting booth, I'm going to go to the manager of that booth, correct?
Correct.
If I'm not there, if maybe I'm at the registrar's office, I would go to whoever the lead person is there. So that's the starting point. If you don't get resolved, that's when you fill out the incident report and then talk to someone from your organization, correct?
Well, yes, and I may have misled you a little bit there, because we still like them after the fact, even though the issue has been resolved. After the fact, we still like to know what's happening so we can look for patterns, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So even though it gets resolved, go ahead and document and turn it in.
Excellent. All right. And then let's talk a little bit about 2022 here in Washoe County, because you were a big part of what happened here. And there's a lot of things going on about the court cases, et cetera. But this isn't really so much about that as it is the incident reports. There were at least hundreds of incident reports filled out, were there not?
I believe so, yes, maybe more than that.
Yeah, I know. I say hundreds and I'm being conservative because I don't want to overdo it, but it could have been thousands that were filed.
Right.
And that's not because anybody was out to get anyone. That was because I was a ballot runner, which was a simple job, but amazing what you can see. As a result of that, we've had different meetings going on. You've had direct contact with our Deputy Secretary of Elections, Mark Vlashin, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and you recently were able to even get another meeting with him as a result of these incident reports.
Well, I'm not certain it's as a result, but I certainly did use...
It's as a result of you speaking up.
That's right, yes.
And you had those incident reports in hand to tell them about it.
Yes.
I would call those contributing factors.
Yes. I'm sure you're right that it helped him make the decision, and we are in the process of setting up a meeting. Would you like me to bring up the topic?
Sure, absolutely, because I think it's pertinent to the incident reports and how this all occurred.
A lot of people might have noticed this, but with all these mail-in ballots, we have a whole bunch of new problems that we didn't have before we had those mail-in ballots. One of them is when people come to surrender their mail-in ballot because they may want to use the machine, or they're just they're surrendering the ballot. And many times when that happened, even the people working on the election board didn't quite know what to do with those surrendered ballots. There were incidences where that happened. Now, what does that mean? It means perhaps not the proper training for the people working at the polls, or it could mean just simply not following the law. We're not certain why that was happening, but it's an issue and it has to get straightened out. The other thing that it does, how does the voter feel when they walk in to surrender their ballot and the person accepting their ballot is perhaps processing that surrendered ballot one way, and then they see someone else come in and surrender their ballot and they see it get treated in a different way because there's confusion in how that ballot needs to be handled. And we're going to try to get that straightened out.
Doug, when you went to the South Valley's library to vote this time around, right?
It was
Debbie?
at Rayleigh's,
Yeah.
Rayleigh's.
Yeah. No, it wasn't the library. It was Rayleigh's. So when you came in, you surrendered your ballots, right?
Yes.
Do you remember what they did with them when
No.
you don't?
Well, my wife says, go over here and do this. Oh, okay. And she has the tenacity to stick to this. One of the things that amazed me, what I did notice, is, you pull the card out of the machine that has all of the stuff on it. And they say, okay, put that in that dish over there, which I did. And there were several others in that dish. Nobody guarded the dish. I don't know if people were picking them up or where they went, or, and
that's a good point.
So
it's a good point.
That was the only thing that I noticed. One of the things
But you don't know what you did, what happened to your surrendered ballot. You just gave it to them and they did something with it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I remember my brother talking, and he went in and voted, and they said, this is what's the word? Contentious? No.
Pinchers.
No. What's the word? Right. I'm sorry. That this isn't your vote. It's because they didn't know if you voted online or on paper. So it was I want to say contingent, but I'm missing the
Provisional?
word. Provisional.
Yeah.
So my brother was told this was provisional, and he didn't like it. He didn't like being
Why
told.
was it provisional? He's voted before.
He voted before, but because the it had to do with his mail-in ballot, he was told. So this is provisional unless your mail-in ballot comes in or
That's
something.
interesting.
You know,
So that was his experience.
one of the things for, probably the first 10 years we lived here, we did all mail-in ballots in California. We would get a California ballot and we would mail it back to them and say, no, we're here in Nevada now. Didn't matter. We still kept. So we could have voted twice
Sure.
in national elections, but certainly not local ones. But nonetheless, I don't know if it was their system that was broken or ours.
Right. So Ellen, you can hear the confusion here, just in this room.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. So, so you're trying to help to solve some of these problems, and we're going to run out of time. But I just want to make sure if there is something you'd like to share, give your call out to all those volunteers that should be out there helping you out, and we'll do our best to help you too.
Just go to our website. I'll say it again, www.volunteernevada.com. We will call you back as soon as you give us your contact information. Doesn't matter what county you're in. We want a team in your county, and we'll explain all of that when we talk to you.
That's excellent.
Well, thank you so much for what you do, and more
Oh,
folks, right? I
absolutely,
mean,
yeah.
I think that the more folks that are knowledgeable and the more folks that can speak to it, the less of this anxiety and uncertainty we'll have around elections.
I'd like to
Well-
train every voter.
Oh boy, start. I think that's awesome. Right? I
that's a
think
great
every
idea.
voter needs trained.
Yeah, maybe we should make it a requirement.
I think so. Right? Yeah.
Before you can vote, you got to go through Ellen's
You
training.
got to go through voter training, right?
Right.
I like it.
I do too.
You know, on
do.
the surface, it seems like it should be so simple,
Right.
right?
It does seem that way. It always was, it seemed, but apparently not so much because they've complicated it a lot with the mail-ins and the everything else. We should go back to voting one day. That's my opinion.
Yeah, they're magicians.
On that note, thank you, Ellen Gifford from Volunteer Nevada. And we will be back with more from What's the Story after this break.
Businesses, writers, check this out. Go to lrpnv.com to get your printing, publishing, and professional services today. Need a virtual office? A place to receive and forward your mail with professional address and suite number for your business? Someone to answer your telephones? Want to rent a conference room for only $15 an hour? What about that book you've been wanting to have printed? LRP Printing and Business Center can do it for you, and they have a professional assistant on site daily, Monday through Friday. Just call 775-356-1004. Need copies, business cards, invoices, books, booklets, or graphic design to help brand you or your business? Just call 775-356-1004 or go to lrpnv.com. With a great selection of new and used books, you can get your printing done and a book to entertain you in your time off. And don't forget, you could have your business sponsoring the Bookhound Radio Show, just like Andrew Martoni, author of Little Man in the Map, does every week. Just go to lrpnv.com. That's lrpnv.com or call 775-356-1004. They'll provide solutions for your business and writing projects.
Hi, I'm Noreen Leary, CEO of the Veterans Guest House. Guest House is a home away from home for our veterans and their families who travel to Reno for medical care. Our house is more than just a warm bed. It's a place of camaraderie where veterans can find support and long-lasting friends. We serve veterans, men and women, young and old, Navy, Army, Marines, Coast Guard, and Air Force. Wherever they hail from and whatever their circumstance, the Veterans Guest House is ready to support them. The reason we feel so strongly about our mission is that we know that many veterans would forego their medical treatments because they simply can't afford the accommodations. The Guest House is one of a kind in the country, funded entirely through private donations. Want to know how you can help? There are many ways you can be involved, from volunteering, providing dinners, or supplying items from our wish list. Find out more about the Guest House at www.veteransguesthouse.org. serving veterans today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
Hi, this is Eddie Floyd. Let me tell you about my favorite nonprofit public charity, Wainema Wild Horse Sanctuary, located on the Forsyth Ranch in Hallelujah Junction area. And please go to www.wainemaranch.com. That's WYNEMA ranch.com.
Charbecue, the Butcher's Kitchen, would like to thank every customer for your loyalty and continued support through these challenging times. Call for takeout and delivery of rib tips, brisket, ahi tuna, roasted veggies, and much more. Charbecue is open from 11 to 7, Monday through Saturday, and delivers hot food safe and healthy. Call 499-5855 for details. 499-5855 Charbecue, as featured on diners, drive-ins, and dives. Get real. Get into Charbecue Reno.
Now she's gone like a...
Unable to listen to the whole show? A recording of today's program will be available later today. Visit americamatters.us and click on the podcast link. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. This is What's the Story? I'm Janice Hermson. I'm your host. I'm here with Ed Knoll, Doug Ashby, and we were talking to Ellen Gifford from Volunteer Nevada, who shared some information about becoming a volunteer in her organization to help to observe and be a poll watcher during the election time, which is such an important thing to do. You know, for many, many, many years, I could do none of that. My life prohibited me from having any participation. So for anybody out there who's hearing this and saying, darn, I'd love to, but I can't, I get it.
Unless you're an empty nester.
Well, it's really hard for lots of people, but I'll tell you, there were moms, there were people who worked who took time off work in order to do this. And it was amazing to watch the numbers of people that were willing to take their time to do this kind of stuff. And many of them were old empty nesters or whatever, but there were young people there as well. So, and I'm not trying to like make anybody feel bad about it, because we all have to look at our lives and decide what's important and what can we do without harming everything else.
Well, right. I mean, as a state, right? Competency in elections, right? I want to know that when things are voted and we see numbers, that they're real.
Yeah.
Right. And that they work. And I think Nevada is, hopefully on its way to getting there.
Yeah. And part of the reason I wanted to have Ellen on was to hopefully make a difference. And God bless her, she just sent me a text that says, I just got a volunteer who listened to your show. So there you go.
Bada bing. Way to go, folks. Thank you.
No, you should say, way to go, Ed.
Hey, the more the merrier. No, we need competent people that we can trust.
Well, there goes Ed.
Working for us all. Well, right. I do have an L.
Well, the point is that if you can be trained, I think a lot of times too, it's the lack of confidence. I don't know what I'm doing. I wouldn't know what to look for. I wouldn't know what to do. So it's important to have good training. And unfortunately, and this is not a slight on the registrar of voters, but I think that they were short-staffed in 2022. I think that they had lots of people quit. They had a lot of challenges, and they weren't able to train properly, and that was part of the problem.
Always incompetence.
I think it goes probably to the core of people. I think most people are positive thinking. They think there are elections, being as important as they are run fairly. They don't. I don't think most people have that.
Why would you doubt it?
Yeah, well, exactly. Until it was, thrown in our faces.
Right. And it's constantly being thrown in our faces.
But you know what?
Really getting ridiculous now.
I think that's the people that mismanaged it are the ones that took advantage of that. They said, "Hey, nobody's going to say anything."
Well, and because I'm so involved, I'm obviously seeing a lot more than what the average person is going to see out there. But if you did see what I saw, oh my goodness, there are just too many anomalies, too many things that are going wrong. If you listen to, there was a a summit or some kind of an event called The Pit. And I'm not going to cover this because if you're on any kind of social media that covers those types of events, everybody's covering this. But what I want to say about it is that there were good things about it and there were bad things about it. And there were questions and there are different ways of thinking about things. And you're not going to agree with everything that they said any more than you would agree with everything I say. So they presented some things, and one of them was in New York. And so if you get a chance to search for The Pit, you probably have to go to a service like Rumble or something like that. You're probably not going to find it on YouTube, is my guess, because they'll probably suppress it. But if you go to Rumble, search The Pit. It's Greg Phillips and Catherine Engelbrecht that presented. They said that they were going to present 10 times the mules. Whether you believe it was or not doesn't matter. The information they provided, some of it was valuable. Some people thought it wasn't. So again, you got to kind of value it your own way. But like I say, the information they provided from New York is part of the anomalies that are out there that showed a pattern that I will tell you that I saw in Nevada. And I was listening to it and I said, oh my God, somebody told me to ignore that. That's exactly what was happening on that one set of documents I saw. So I'm going back to it now and I'm going to review it again and see if what I saw was valid, because they found it to be a problem. So that's where the good part is. If I'm an elected official, I should be glad that the citizens give a darn about what's going on. And I know better, I do, but I'm going to be Pollyanna and I'm going to say they should care that we care, right?
So they should at least pretend to have some empathy.
They could do that.
Right? They
helpful.
could pretend to think about having some empathy for folks that are hustling, right? I mean, I'm all about effort, right? I love to see those folks working, trying to solve their challenges, trying to achieve, right? We need more of those folks.
Right. So,
the tough thing about what you just said is that, that they're working diligently and they want to see that they're actually making a difference. The problem with that is they keep moving the goalposts. When you think that you've really got it solved over here, oh my gosh, the goalpost is over there. So you switch, and it's this moving target that we don't have the ability to say, oh yeah, we really did great, because the issue continues to morph to something else or become a flurfy.
You had to throw it in. I have to tell you that I just got another text and the person said, hang on, I thought The Pit was BS. So there you go.
Oh, so we got some, hey, feedback is feedback.
Feedback
right?
is feedback, and that's okay. And that's why I said, some people thought it was good. Some people thought it was nonsense. You have your own opinion. I think it's worth looking at, especially when you have more than one opinion and everybody's not all on the same page. Maybe there is some value there, right?
Well, one of the things that I like to think that we do here, and you hit the nail right on the head, Janice, when you said, just listen to me. You don't have to agree, but give me the courtesy to just listen, because maybe in some of the things that we say, you go, you know what? I never thought of that. And it might be just a glimmer of light.
Right.
Right. So
it's very true. It's very true. So I want to see, what else was I going to, we were going to talk about serendipity, and our word of the day.
Serendipity.
Yeah.
So that happens, right? Doesn't that happen in our lives every day?
Yeah, well, it happened to my daughter, and that's why we have that word.
Yeah. No, I love.
She suggested. I said, "Oh, that's a perfect word of the day."
So I love it because those that know me, I have a unicorn make magic thing, and one of my goals every day is to make magic. Whether it's an existing friend, you can give them a contact, or you make a new connection, or in my space, right, I get a new giant multi-million-dollar loan, right? Or I go down to Las Vegas to UNLV for my son's orientation, and it's the perfect world for him.
Yeah.
Right.
That
That
awesome?
is total magic, serendipitous. And I love it in my life every day. And I think, the definition says it's accidental or coincidental. I think we can make that magic by looking for those opportunities
Oh,
to create it.
There's a fork right there in what you said. I agree.
So all the
partially.
time I have forks.
Not a knife. It was a fork.
It was a fork.
No, but
Sharp
your son
prongs.
going down there enjoying it, I don't think that was serendipitous. You had planned it. He had planned it. That's what he decided on. He investigated it, and voila, look what happened.
When you go look at a house, right, and you're looking to buy a house and you pull into the driveway,
Yeah.
regardless of the look of the home or whatever, there's a feel.
Yes.
That's an intangible that goes
That's right. You go,
beyond
"Get
like,
me outta
hey,
here."
hey, there's your twin bed, there's your shower, there's the library. It's having all the stuff, but then there's that feeling like it's your own, feeling like it's a place you can thrive in. And those are the places in real estate that people make offers on. And Fox had that kind of magic in seeing it. Not only is it, right, well laid out, nice stuff, he believed.
Yeah,
He
but
saw.
it probably had a lot to do with the sorority sisters that came by, what didn't it?
So not so much, that we can talk about UNLV because I learned a lot about it, but not that many people live on campus.
Yeah.
Right? 3,000 people live on campus. It's a small space compared to UNR.
Yeah.
I mean, they got those 20-story towers going up on. I thought it was going to be more like that than quaint, small and comfortable.
That was Cal State LA, where I graduated from. There were minuscule people that actually it was a commuter college, and one of the things that was most notable about it, when I was there was 21,000 students, and there was only 3,000 parking places. I always thought that was unique.
Oh, very unique. There was a message going on there.
So I always thought
Definitely a
California
message.
was an investor in mass transit, right? Mass transit.
Yeah. What was that they put in there in recent years between the Valley and LA? Didn't they put some kind of transportation in there?
Oh yeah, the
some kind of commuter train or something.
You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Levitating
went on
frisbee.
No, and it's one of
Did
them
it
that
work?
People have actually. Well, it does. People have grown
That's good.
into it.
That's
Yeah.
good. I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
I like driving. I want control.
Metro rail. Metro rail.
Metro Rail, that's what it was, yeah. All right, well, that music tells us that we're preparing for a break before our second half comes up, so I hope you'll hang in there with us, and after the news, we will be back, so don't you go away.
If you don't look at what you're doing, you're gonna end up dead.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. Ouch! Well, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers. If you administer insulin 3 or more times per day or use an insulin pump, call now and learn how a CGM can help you.
Painless. No more pricking my finger.
No finger pricks.
Convenience. They delivered it free and they took care of all the paperwork.
You can reduce pain right away. Plus, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you spend more time in range. And if you have insurance, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Call now and get free shipping of your new CGM. Plus, we'll bill your insurance for you. 800-432-8150. 800-432-8150. 800-432-8150. That's 800-432-8150.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-296-1259. 800-296-1259. 800-296-1259. That's 800-296-1259.
This is America Matters Media at 93.7 FM KPGF Sun Valley and AM 1060 KFOY Sparks, Nevada.
USA Radio News with Tim Berg.
A hearing on the motion to unseal search warrant materials for the FBI raid on former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago property will happen Thursday. The federal judge who oversaw the warrant to search his Palm Beach home scheduled the in-person event. The Justice Department is continuing to push back against the release of that affidavit, but Ohio Republican Congressman Mike Turner says the affidavit would make the basis for the warrant clearer.
The Department of Justice and the FBI had options. They didn't have to do the most intrusive, invasive execution to get these documents that are alleged to be highly classified by actually going into Mar-a-Lago.
That audio courtesy of Fox News. President Biden signed a nearly $800 billion tax and spend bill into law today. The president now spending time at his Delaware home, this after spending the last week on vacation. USA Radio News.
Make money doing what you love. It can be done. Matter of fact, it has been done. Consider the story of Jack London. He's one of the highest paid writers of all time. Authored The Call of the Wild, recently released as a blockbuster movie starring Harrison Ford. Jack grew up in a rough neighborhood in Oakland, poor, uneducated, and a school dropout. As a child, Jack fell in love with the idea of being a writer. The notion that an uneducated, dirt-poor school dropout from Oakland could someday be a published writer was insanity. You know the rest of the story, though. Jack London became one of the richest writers of all time. Discover Jack's secret that allows anyone of any income or educational level to make money doing what they love. Whatever it is you love more than anything else, let's make that your prosperous living. Go right now to discoveringjack.com. That's discoveringjack.com. His secret is free. Just go to discoveringjack.com. Discoveringjack.com.
First Lady Jill Biden has tested positive for COVID. A statement from her communications director noted a PCR test revealed a positive result after she had cold-like symptoms. She's, of course, double vaccinated and has received 2 booster shots. Just like her husband did when he had the virus, the First Lady is taking Paxlovid to treat her symptoms. A company once again says they'd like their employees to begin reporting to the office.
Tech giant Apple is trying again with the return to office program. Bloomberg is reporting that the company set a September 5th deadline for corporate employees to return to the office for at least 3 days a week. The company has delayed plans to return to the office several times due to COVID-19. Currently, it has a 2-day-a-week in-office schedule for employees. Apple held an in-person meeting at its main campus in Cupertino, California back in June for a developers conference presentation. For USA Radio News, I'm Kenneth Burns in New York.
USA Radio News.
Hi, I'm Wayne Alaroot. If you like my radio show, you're going to love my podcast, War Raw. Each podcast, I present my top 10 most outrageous, salacious, and controversial stories of the week. I break down the best of the best raw truth stories for conservatives, libertarians, patriots, taxpayers, Trumpers, and deplorables. Anyone who appreciates God, guns, gold, and tax cuts will stand up and cheer for War Raw. Check out this week's War Raw podcast right now. It's available to download at iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, or wherever you listen to podcasts. War Raw. War Raw.
The Food and Drug Administration is finalizing a rule that will allow many Americans to access over-the-counter hearing aids. National Economic Council Director Brian Deese says this expands the Biden administration's goal to increase competition and lower costs.
The requirement to see a doctor or a hearing specialist was an example of what economists call a barrier to entry. It was a regulation that kept more companies or more innovators from entering the market to compete.
More folks are heading to the polls.
It's primary day in Alaska and Wyoming. The big race for Wyoming's only congressional seat is between Liz Cheney and Trump-backed candidate Harriet Hageman.
I have a long record and history of working and fighting on behalf of Wyoming.
Ms. Hageman's background is being a lawyer. Representative Cheney was first elected in 2017. From the West Coast USA Radio News Bureau, I'm Lance Pry.
The Catholic Charities of Archdiocese of New York is stepping up to help New York in response to the surge of illegal immigrants that are arriving from Texas. Archbishop of New York, Timothy Dolan, says their efforts are not politically motivated.
Our perspective is not the political. Our perspective is not how did we get in this mess. Our perspective is simply to help them, to reach out to them.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott saying he's sending the busloads of illegal immigrants to New York because it's a sanctuary city. For USA Radio News, I'm Tim Berg.
The following is an America Matters media production. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the station or its advertisers, although we think they should. But that's the opinion of America Matters Media.
Now she's gone like a little Enoch song all the way to MIA, where she thinks that she belongs. Poof, now she's gone like a little Enoch song all the way to MIA, where she thinks that she belongs.
Welcome back. This is the second hour of What's the Story? My name is Janice Hermson. We are here at the America Matters Media Studios in the Reno Town Mall. If you ever would like to, you can come down and share some time with us. We'd love to have you. Yes, we do. We have an extra seat. Is what
It's on?
Oh, it's on.
It's like being in an
It
aquarium.
gives me a dirty look.
You could come down
Like I did it.
and breathe on the glass,
That's right.
right? Fog it up.
Yes, that's right. We're in a little bubble here, in our little glass bubble.
Yeah, that's the way we
So-
live our lives.
A lot of people do. A lot of people do. So, yeah. So come on down and join us down here at the America Matters Media Studio. Pretty soon we're going to have a wonderful coffee shop next door, and we're looking forward to that. And
Where's that going to be?
That's going to be right through that glass door there. You're gonna
Really?
yes, yes.
right,
Won't
and I
that
don't-
be nice?
I don't
You
have
won't
to
have
bring-
to go down the street?
Oh, maybe
Yeah?
maybe I can be on time then.
Oh, that's his excuse. That's just his
So I'm
excuse.
doubting that.
No, he'll be busy over there getting
Yeah.
his coffee and
Waving.
waving at us, right? At least we'll know he's here.
He could be on site.
Yeah, I remember I was looking at our videos from another week and I noticed us looking out here. That was the week he was late. And we wondered if he was going to be here. You saw the back of my head looking out the door to see if where's Doug. Where's Doug? I should actually put a little banner on there. Where's Doug?
So you don't have
Might
like
make people look.
I think
Yeah, and then show you running in.
we need the LRP vest, right? Make him like a neon orange or
There you
something,
go.
and we could
Yeah,
wear
we'll see,
those.
yeah. So yeah, you can see me in the dark.
We'd be like the
LRPWTS.
we'd be like the word police.
That's funny. Speaking of the word police, poor Ellen, she was going to give us some for words of the day, observer, and I forget what the other one was. We got it here. Observer, she's going to give us definitions of observation and to observe and watch. Because, during the election time, meaningful observation really needs to be defined in Washoe County, at least. I'm not so sure about Clark, but I know in Washoe County, there was not meaningful observation. And now the Washoe County is taking down they're remodeling the ROV, Register of Voters, right before an election.
Sure.
Wow.
Seriously?
Then they have an excuse.
Oh,
It was a
okay.
remodel.
Ah.
So if you're like a vote, do they have like a whole bunch of like mock voting booths in there, right? How do you decorate the registrar, right? What's the mode?
I don't know.
Right? Hopefully it's not a roulette wheel, right? I mean,
That's right. Yeah, it's very interesting though
Yeah.
that they would decide to do that at such a time as this. Isn't that some sort of
So
wonderful thing?
right, they're changing image or attempting to.
I don't know what they're doing. I guess we should probably ask really very
Yeah.
pointedly about that, but I just think it's not good.
So when someone changes their website like background page, there's something going on.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
So
There's
is that what's
something.
happening when I changed my webpage?
So, well, I don't
There's
know
something
what
going
was
on.
going on with you, but right, something's going on when people
Hmm.
change that.
Yeah. So you have a couple of things for us. Why don't you cover one of your shorter ones, the stories there, Doug?
Aw.
Yeah, you brought a lot of stuff.
Well, I do.
I know, so I want to give you
This is-
time.
well, one
because
of
it's
the
his turn next.
Well, one of the things, we had a fire. This was on Sunday.
Yes, it was Sunday.
And there's two things. That number one, I was down in Reno proper, and I look up, and wow, look at all that smoke coming up. And then I thought, wow, that's pretty much where I live. So I had two choices. I could go up Mount Rose Highway, or the old highway and come up the back way, or I could go, down Joy Lake Road. Well, I chose down Joy Lake Road. Well, I was just a seconds late, and they were shutting down the road. And I thought, oh, this isn't good. Yeah, we have an evacuation in progress. I said, well, where's the fire?
Well, right. It just sparked. I'm serious. It did.
Yeah.
They showed it. It looked like a little smoke twister.
And I said, well, I said, I need to get home. I said, first of all, I have a dog at home. And secondly, most important, this is most important, Debbie.
Hold it. You still haven't said that Debbie was there.
I didn't know where she was. And so, and I asked, I said, well, I need to go. This is a deputy I'm talking to. And he says, well, just a second, let me talk to the fire department. Guy from the fire department comes over and he says, no, we can't let you in. Well, what do you mean you can't? Well, tell me where the fire is. And then I'll, no, he says, I don't know the streets where. Well, how can you shut everything down and keep people out if you don't know what the streets are on? And I said, I do know what I'm talking about. And he says, why is that? Well, you don't.
Did you whip a badge on him? Did you just whip it out and go, here, look at this? And it flops all down. It's like a 4-foot wall.
Yeah,
LA County Battalion Chief.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's got a hat.
30 years.
The white hat pops out.
Do you know how much that would have helped?
So I doubt if he
Zero.
would have bought you some coffee. But,
Well,
you know.
but you know what? I'll tell you what. This one guy, I don't know his name. I wish I would have gotten it. He says, "Well, let me drive down there." He says, "I'll check and then I'll come back and get you." And I said, "Well, let me ride down with you." I can't do that. Why not? I said, make me a ride along. Oh, I can't do that. Why? I'll go ask the deputy. He'll take me down there. Well, no, he won't either. Well, geez, come on, guys. So, but anyway, there's a lot to the story. They did put the fire out. And one of the things that I asked both the deputy and a half a mile up the road, there was another start of a fire. Now, any common person would say, fire down here, fire up there. Oh, gee, these two are accidental.
Yeah.
Well, that's got to kind of pique your arson, your meter, right?
You would think.
So what kind of rating did it get? Did it get a score? Was it like a 3.7 or something?
So anyway, I did ask him what's going on in this. But anyway, they did put the fire out, and it did burn a house down.
Oh, bummer.
Which the arsonist is going to be in trouble. So, but there's a second part. Arson is one of the most hardest.
I've heard that. Yeah, I had a friend who.
Crimes to convict, because there's multiple things that could happen. But one of the things that I thought was very, very interesting is that I read the story on the news media in several locations. And one of the things, they can't just leave the story bad enough. House burns down 2.5. But this is what they put. At the time of the request, the fire threatened approximately 2,000 homes in the Galena Creek area. The fire also threatened a high school, an elementary school, a geothermal plant, power transmission lines, and communications infrastructure.
Carson
and
City.
I-580.
What, the state house isn't on there? They don't have the Gov's residence?
Can't you just let this fire be enough standalone? Do you have to throw the rest of that in?
Apparently they did.
So I think
Apparently they felt the need.
That's what media does now.
That's
That's
right.
exact. They look.
That's what
they look and see if they can find 25 adjectives to describe something that is irrelevant.
No, what they do is they say, though at the people at the top, and they say, that fire was 2.5 acres. You have any flurfy for it?
You'd have to listen to last week's show. Wasn't it last week?
Furphy. Yeah. Furphy.
Yeah, he's not saying it right. Furphy.
Funny thing, Fox said he'd go to Australia to take some classes too. And so I was like, cool, I can use the word furphy again.
That's right. Good for him. Good for him. All right. What can I tell you? Life is fun, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, that was a good story.
No, it really.
Sorry that it happened.
I'll tell you what, it is threatening. I mean, to go home and see all the smoke where your house is.
Oh, I know. I've done it.
Yeah.
I did that.
So.
All right. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hey, all you entrepreneurs out there. Whether you have a small business or work from home, LaRue Press offers a virtual office and business address for all your business needs. Located at 280 Gregg Street, Suite 10, LaRue Press is your personal assistant for friendly all-day service. Need a conference room to meet with clients? You got it. With LaRue Press, you also get phone answering service, mail forwarding, package pickup, and even help branding your business. Call LaRue Press at 849-3814 or go online to lrpnv.com.
At A Proper Fit Footwear in the Reno Town Mall, we've been accomplishing happy feet for over 30 years.
We offer a various range of shoe styles and sizes for both men and women. From all-season shoes and orthotics to work boots and safety shoes, our professional and reliable staff possesses the knowledge to help you find the proper shoes to fit your needs. Hard to fit? Hard to find?
A Proper Fit Footwear is here to give our customers happy feet. We make people aware of potential foot problems as we're sizing their feet, suggesting the right arch support, and guiding them to the proper shoes for their needs.
Stop by A Proper Fit Footwear at 4001 South Virginia Street in the Reno Town Mall today, and allow the owner Mike Jones and our fabulous staff to find the perfect pair of shoes tailored to your specific needs.
A Proper Fit Footwear in the Reno Town Mall, the home of happy feet, where comfort and your feet meet.
Hi, this is Eddie Floyd. Let me tell you about my favorite non-profit public charity, Wainema Wild Horse Sanctuary, located on the Forsyth Ranch in Hallelujah Junction area. And please go to www.wainemaranch.com. That's WYNEMA ranch.com.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today, I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
Are you shy and don't want to talk on the air? Text us your questions or comments to 775-237-2266. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. This is What's the Story? I'm Janice Hermson, and it is time for our financial report from Mr. Ed Knoll.
Big news today, folks.
Big news.
Big news. The world
Breaking.
The world is not ending. Right? It only seems like it. No. Hey, actually, folks, gas and I will tell you that I believe that oil and mortgage rates are tied together and they have a relationship. It's not exactly tit for tat, but when oil and gas go down, rates tend to as well.
Yeah.
and vice versa. And so right now we're kind of hanging out in the fives, folks. There's some hope and lots of people are going after homes. However, this came out, housing affordability falls to lowest levels since Great Recession.
Well, what's
According to the National Association of Home Builders and Wells Fargo Housing Opportunity Index, it's builders. It's builders. They have low confidence now because they've had some deals fall out because of rising rates and people not qualifying. They're having to throw extra
Costs for
incentives out there.
Well,
Their
what's-
costs are high. So builders are really kind of feeling the squeeze a bit.
Well, you said the Great Recession. Now that's 2008.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So and so
He's just checking.
Well,
Yeah.
right. I mean, that time.
Well, with inflation, it might be the 2010 now.
So, well, right. But at that time, lots of people had challenges, including yours truly, where I had trouble eating during the Great Recession.
Lots of people did.
And I will say that I'm eating now, though. So,
But you're losing weight because you're eating
Yeah,
right.
isn't that something? Yeah.
so I am. We'll get that when we get to the book of the day, right?
There
We'll
you
get
go.
there at the book pledge. Also, consumer prices, folks. I know that the Prez was trying to say there was zero. Prices rose 8.5% in July. Right now they're 8-9% a month. It's pushing 10%.
Inflation rate.
Inflation rate. It's problematic, right? As much as the president would say we're not in a recession. We're in a recession, folks. I bet. I mean, I'm looking at September. We're going to have 3 consecutive quarters of negative growth.
Well,
I believe.
how do they get away with, they're magicians that, what they do is they,
So are we, right? We have a word of the day and we play with it. So do they.
We're magicians.
So
too.
except
Just didn't know it.
except the stuff that the federal government plays with is stuff that matters to us. Recession.
Well,
We're not in a recession.
yeah,
Look
it's-
outside at the bright trees.
sure, it's misdirection. What they do is they get you looking one way and then they pull the strings in another. So,
And
yeah.
then they have COVID and go in the basement and think about it. So, right. But moving ahead too, the Fed does expect to stick with raising rates, right? I think they're looking at a half increase in September.
No, not a half. That's 50 basis points.
So, okay. So I'm
Yeah,
talking.
that's the code.
Don't be talking mortgagees to my clients, right? And our listeners. Our listeners are knowledgeable, but right, we need to speak English, not mortgagees. Right.
He lost his train of thought.
I
Did you hear
have.
that?
You guys got me. So something
You did
very
it.
short train.
I will say that, like it says, 43% of new and existing homes sold between April and the end of June were affordable to families earning the U.S. median income. What do you think it is?
78,000.
58.
Best
tried.
best I know, it was 58 last year.
Mhm.
It's 90.
What?
90.
What?
90,000. This is a sharp drop. So, in effect, if you can buy a home, folks, do it. It's getting further away from the average individual.
But why isn't the news media reporting that? The affordability of middle income people is eroding, but you never hear that story.
So, I think that the media takes what they want to talk about and blow it all up, right?
What their agenda is.
So to me, this is more, this is like Sunday church or local friends getting together going, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Right? Where's your direction? How do you want to grow in quality? Right? Where are we going to be as people?
You have no answer for that.
Absolutely.
Wow,
yeah,
you stumped
yeah.
him.
Well,
Impossible.
Well, that's Janice and I were talking a little bit ago, and for especially what our books segment is going to be. But one of the things that I was looking up was happiness. That you never hear that word anymore. So we'll get to that in a little bit.
I try to use it in every text.
Happy.
Right? No, right? It's like emojis. I am emoji user because I think they make people smile. Their pictures, right? If I could type in total emoji, I might do that.
I want to see.
Is there a
one.
language? I bet you could take. I bet UNLV has a class on emojis, right? Emoji is a language.
I want to see that one.
You know,
I might
saw
even take it.
somebody sent me a little, I don't know what you call them, you know, the little videoettes or something. It's two guys standing by what looks like a well. It's completely bricked. It's about, 20 feet in diameter. And he's talking to the other guy and he says, I have never, ever done this hole down as far as I had to do this. And the guy goes, oh, he looks down there and says, that's perfect. And he goes over and he says, let me see the blueprints. And he takes and he turns them back over. He says, that's because it's supposed to be a lighthouse.
Nice.
That's funny.
That's what you're talking about.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Well, I want to share just a little bit about a workshop that I attended on August, I want to say 12th, with the Deputy Secretary of Elections. I would guess almost 60 other people.
Of your closest friends.
Not my friends, but we all attended this workshop because the the Secretary of State, I shouldn't say that, Secretary of State has decided that they need a proposed regulation, which is a temporary regulation, that they're putting into place on a statute that has been in existence for over 60 years. And, oftentimes statutes also have regulations that go with them, right? Mm-hmm. This one's about paper ballots. In 60 years ago, they used paper ballots. There was never a regulation to go with that. They kind of had it in the statute. They knew what they were doing, and they did it. Well, suddenly, now that Nye County is going to use paper ballots exclusively, which equals 1.6% of the population of Nevada, the SOS Secretary of State decided that they need this regulation now. They need a temporary regulation to cover the paper ballots.
So we need a temporary regulation to eliminate just throwing, wasting paper, right?
Well, here's the deal. Why suddenly did they need this regulation when only 1.6% of the population is even going to be using these paper ballots? I mean, they're regulating so down to the minutia of this.
So we're blue. We're a blue state.
Mark Camp, who is the new, he'd been on the job 4 or 5 days when this occurred. He attended that meeting. And I will tell you, I was so impressed with this person. He went through all the regulations, made his recommendations, told him what he was going to be doing, told him how he had examined this with the staff that was there existing in the county. Why wouldn't they listen to him, right? So, and he objected profusely to this regulation even going into place. So it will be interesting. On August 26th, they will be following up on this and they will be making decisions. And in the meantime, over 1,000 people have sent in notification to the Secretary of State of how they feel about this regulation. So it's gotten some notice.
So, I'm just doing rough math, but so what? 3,500 people in Nye County?
The voters, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
That's right. There's 50,000. Yeah, that was good. There's 50,000 people and about 30,000 of them voters.
What county?
Roughly. Nye. Yeah, near Las Vegas. All right, that says it's time to take a little break, but I wanted to fit that in before we went on break, and we'll be right back.
Sliced fresh sandwiches every day, made right before your eyes. The port of Subway could be a smoking number 5 or a classic number 8, or maybe an Italian is your number 1 fave. Whatever you crave, prepare to fall in love. Sliced fresh sandwiches, Port of Subs.
Port of Subs is rolling into summer with our Kickin' Chicken Bundle Meal. We've bundled our classic number 16, sliced fresh roasted chicken breast, layered with spicy pepperoni and pepper jack cheese on fresh baked pepperoncini pepper jack bread. Served with zesty Miss Vicky's jalapeno chips, an ice cold Sprite, and a warm Ghirardelli brownie for a meal that'll heat you up and cool you down. It's here for a limited time at Port of Subs. Order online at portofsubs.com or on our app. Port of Subs, celebrating 50 years of slicing fresh.
Whatever yummy number you're dreaming of, slice fresh sandwiches, Port of Subs.
Hey, all you entrepreneurs out there. Whether you have a small business or work from home, LaRue Press offers a virtual office and business address for all your business needs. Located at 280 Gregg Street, Suite 10, LaRue Press is your personal assistant for friendly all-day service. Need a conference room to meet with clients? You got it. With LaRue Press, you also get phone answering service, mail forwarding, package pickup, and even help branding your business. Call LaRue Press at 849-3814 or go online to lrpnv.com.
Beach & Sons Mechanical. Complete air conditioning service, repair, maintenance, and installations. Most all makes and models serviced, including many split systems. Beach & Sons Residential and Commercial, bringing quality air to your family. Call 775-737-0055, 737-0055. Beach & Sons, family owned and operated, American made. Beach & Sons, stay cool.
You hear it all the time. Buy local, think local, eat local, choose local, grow local. But who the heck really is local? You can shop with locals at the Nevada Marketplace in the Reno Town Mall and search for locals at buynevadafirst.com. We're all local all the time.
Text and whatever. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Wake up, the sun below. Got another road to sow. Let the fire feel the hope. It's welling up from the depths of my soul.
To join the conversation, call 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Now back to the show.
And we are back. This is What's the Story? I'm Janice Hermson. I'm your host, and we have been all over the map today.
But we've been very, very interesting.
I'm so glad you have such a great ego. It's awesome.
Well, hey, you have to have confidence in yourself.
Is that
right?
what that is?
Yeah.
Only Doug. Only
she's
Doug.
laughing.
He has the best book in the world, too.
It
He
is.
has the best.
Well, and you doubt that? This goes along with
Never.
This is what goes along with I Know Where You Live, right?
So what's the title of your book? Heroes and Giants?
Yeah.
He's a hero.
And it's not political.
It is not.
Well, how would it be if I came on here and said, you know, folks, I wrote a book and it's real mediocre. I wish you'd kind of look at it and, you know, maybe you can get through it. It might put you to sleep at night, but you know, what the heck?
So if I'm you, Doug, I love that approach. I think in my twisted world that more people would find that fascinating and read it to find out than if the other was true.
Okay, how about this? Let's put a challenge out there to people. If you believe that, you have to buy the book to figure out which is best. Is it a really good book, or is it, as Ed says, one that he would like because it would challenge him?
Well, and here's another thing. How about if you want to review the book, we'll send you either an audio or a print copy or a Kindle.
Yes.
And you can review it and you don't have to pay a darn dime.
Yep, and
That's
that's
right.
volunteer work too.
It
You
is
could
volunteer
probably
work.
read those
And-
books while watching
I have-
voters.
Wait a minute, I have this on very, very
Right, we'll have to ask Ellen.
very firm footing. Good. You can double that deduction on your income tax.
So who deducts?
Well, no, for the cost of the book, since how you're getting it for
So
free.
only rich people have enough to deduct,
That's
right?
right. That's right. Well, I have a little story for you.
Uh-oh.
And it's National Sandwich Month. We talked about this
Yeah,
last
that's
week. And
right.
so I wanted to kind of carry this along because I want you guys to know that after we talked about our favorite sandwiches, guess what I had?
Smoked turkey and
No,
Swiss?
I had
Oh,
my avocado and tomato sandwich.
nice.
Yeah, it's just not as good as when I make it at home. Sorry to say.
Yeah.
So what can I
Yeah.
tell you? But I did have it. So just think about what your favorite sandwich might be. But in the meantime, you usually have, coffee or whatever, some kind of drink with it. Well, guess what? Starbucks is making a surprising admission about mail-in ballots. Now, here's pulling
Starbucks?
elections, Starbucks, all this all together. only in America does this happen, right? Starbucks makes surprising admission about mail-in ballots. This is from resistthemainstream.org. They lobbied Congress for legislation countering red state voter integrity laws, but now they oppose mail-in ballots for unionization vote. Oops.
I have a question.
Wait, let me tell the story, then you can ask your question. The international coffee retailer is asking the federal government to ban mail-in ballots for union voters until a thorough investigation can be conducted. And remember, they're in Seattle, Washington, right? The Seattle-based coffee maker alleges fraud by union officials and impropriety by federal officials during a Starbucks unionization campaign. Can you believe this?
Yes.
So-
wait a
But
minute.
our U.S. ballots are
Wait a minute.
fine.
I have a little trouble with the bridge there from sandwiches.
Sandwiches to coffee.
Oh.
You have to have coffee with your sandwiches.
So they sell
It's
pre-
a stretch.
And bologna sandwiches.
So I just think that is so at the core, right? So big picture, people don't see the similarities,
Oh, but
right?
it says Town Hall further reported apparently Starbucks has discovered that mail-in ballots are susceptible to fraud and misconduct, according to a letter the coffee giant sent to the National Labor Relations Board. The Seattle-based coffee giant wrote in a letter to the chairman and general counsel of the National Labor Relations Board on Monday that the labor board's officials acted inappropriately during an election in the Kansas City area and has likely acted similarly in other elections. Starbucks cited a career NLRB professional who approached the company as a whistleblower. So even Starbucks has whistleblowers. Are they going to win? What do you think?
So
I
here's
just find it so ironic.
Hey,
I
you know,
really do. I
if
just-
this goes back
I
to the
had
old,
to tell this story.
Janice, this is the old adage: where you stand on a subject depends on where you sit.
That's it, exactly.
So
That's
right,
very
but
true.
they're in Washington,
Yeah.
right? So-
Washington State.
right.
Yes.
So Washington State.
Oh yeah, that's a beacon of conservatism, right?
So true, but what happens is, right, when you have those extremes, these people are going to be unionized.
So
Yeah.
here's what it says. United agents were given confidential real-time information about specific vote counts so the union could target employees who hadn't voted yet. NLRB officials and Workers United then allegedly coordinated to cover up this activity. A cover-up. Ooh.
So hold on. Well, I guess that's, voting different, but how could they disclose who hadn't voted?
I don't know. How did they know?
That's a good question.
So, right,
isn't it?
Starbucks fits the definition of BIG.
It does. It does. And we know Doug knows all about BIG.
Yep.
Yep.
Do they still give free coffee to fire department and policemen?
Yeah, that's the only time I get to use my gold badge.
Oh, nice. Do they cut
So-
you off at like
Yeah.
$5 or something?
Yeah.
No.
More of the story in a predictably ironic twist. Starbucks was one of the many corporate entities that signed on to a statement opposing election integrity laws in Georgia and other states being pursued by Republican legislators and governors. So Starbucks opposes legislation that would put restrictions on the ability of fraud-prone voting methods, like mail-in ballots, but wants to enact restrictions on fraud-prone voting methods for its own employees who are decided whether to join unions.
So I vote that we use hypocrisy as our word of the day in the near future. And hypocrisy is something I hate it.
I do too.
I hate folks that have hypocrisy. It's one of the reasons why I do not like big. It's my religious challenge as well. But hypocrisy, bad.
Yeah, so the end of this story is, or at least the end of this particular story, so far 220 Starbucks locations have voted to unionize, with more than 30 stores set to vote in union elections in the coming days. The company announced last month it planned to close 16 stores for safety reasons.
Yep.
Oh,
But
jeez.
employees at least one of these stores questioned whether it's designed to counter unionization. So there you go.
So it totally
That's the
is.
story.
Totally. So
Our
right.
sandwich story of the day, Starbucks.
Don't you think it's so funny? I mean, my whole life we watched like the unions and I think they're cyclical and necessary, but the unions drove Detroit our automakers into the ground, right?
Well, look what they've done for the schools.
But, no, you're right. And now you're taking I mean, I don't know. It's just so funny. What comes around goes around.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep. So Steve says, I read the story. Very interesting how they want to over control this, yet not control other items like mail-in votes at all. How very true. So I had to refresh to see that comment because the comments weren't coming up again.
Well, you know, if you were a Starbucks employee, why wouldn't you vote to unionize? What's the downside? They were being threatened that, oh, well, we're going to close your store. Well, that's not much of a threat. I mean, you can certainly go down the street to another Starbucks and get a job there.
So I think it's just so funny that they shut down the stores that are like in the areas of where they were encouraging rioting among Black Lives Matter in these situations. And I bet you dimes to dollars when you look at the locations of these stores, they're all in poor areas,
They
right?
wanted
So
to close them anyway.
So
yeah.
here they are
Yeah.
talking up their game, and yet they're not serving the folks they say they are. Hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't think we're going to be able to use that for a word. You're using it up now.
So I like it. Hypocrisy, hypocrisy, hypocrisy. Say that real fast 3 times.
I cannot do it.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like my hypocrisy knows no bounds. Just like they say, I can see both sides of that issue.
You had something else for us, Doug, didn't you? You got a couple minutes still if you want to share another story. Of
You
yours.
know, I do, and I'll talk real fast, see if I can get it all in. This has to do with Anne Hesh, and it has to do with happiness. And I don't know if anybody's been following that story, but she was declared brain dead after she was in a fiery car crash. And when I read the story, very deep in the story, it said that how she was involved with drugs and this and that, which came full circle to me. These luminaries, these people that we look up to, are they really happy people? And so what I did is I looked on the internet and I thought, this is
And the internet tells the truth all the time.
Yeah, well, exactly. And this is celebrities who battle depression. Well, you think a celebrity, oh my gosh, they have everything in the world, right? Here's a quick list of them: Ashley Judd, Owen Wilson, Heath Ledger, Christine Zeta-Jones, Gwyneth Paltrow, Princess Diana, Tipper Gore, Brooke Shields, Winona Ryder, Robin Williams, of course we know that story, Jim Carrey, Ellen DeGeneres, and this was a biggie, I thought, Brad Pitt. Now here are people that have the world by the tail, and yet they suffer from depression. Isn't that amazing?
They don't know where to spend all their money.
Well, I don't know what it
depressed.
is. One of the things about
How about the fact that they're probably surrounded by people who aren't very honest with them?
That could
by
very
people
well
who
be.
are disingenuous, by people who just
So
want their
to me-
money.
to
I
me-
can understand them being depressed. Who do I trust?
And this is a real
Well,
big
yeah,
issue. And
who
what
do I
I was
trust?
what I talk about, the dumbing down of America. These folks aren't dumbed down, right? They've been lifted up. They've achieved,
Yes.
but they've achieved at a high level, but the consequences are their own. The government is now lowering that bar, in my view, and lifting other. So instead of letting people reach crescendos and blow up, right, right, which is what happens to many, many folks, they're dumbing it down so they never reach that level, so they never have a meltdown.
We got another.
Plus, trying to keep it. That's the problem after you get it all. It's trying to keep it and trusting people and not knowing who you can trust. It brings on a lot of depression.
Oh, I can understand that
Yeah, well,
completely.
don't
Doesn't surprise me at all.
People on the top tier, and in the names we just threw out there, it just wasn't in movies and TV.
Right. No.
It
This
was
is all across the board.
And just real quick, some of the common symptoms are sadness, tiredness, unhappiness, anger, irritability, frustration, loss of interest in pleasurable or fun
This is
activities.
how we're going to close
Sounds
this
like
segment.
all of us.
No,
at some point in our day.
I was going to say that was 5 minutes ago. Now what? Right? I mean, everybody's got to have ups and downs.
That's
folks.
right. That's right. All right. We're going to be right back. We're trying to leave you on a happier note. We'll be right back.
Hey ladies, mark the date on your calendar. September 10th, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Reno Sparks Convention Center. Stylish Woman Expo. It's a full day of women's activities. Join the fun and get in on the know of what's happening to today's woman. For an exciting day of entertainment, they're going to focus on Reno's best bands to compete for the grand prize. Hairdressers will create outrageous hair design. And for our VIP guests, serving free breakfast lunch sponsored by Peavine Tap House. And free lunch, serving barbecue ribs, beans, and dinner roll, sponsored by Rail City. Giveaways, hundreds of prizes. Also demonstrations, including gun safety for women. It's a day to remember. Reno Mayor Hillary Sheevy will speak on women's mental health. Remember, September 10th, Reno Sparks Convention Center. Tickets are $25 admission and $35 for VIP. More details at the website, festivalofshows.com. Join us for the fun, ladies. It's a day just for us. Stylish Woman Expo.
Hey everyone, Dave Escher here, introducing you to our new store, the Nevada Marketplace, in the Reno Town Mall. Anchored with the Buy Nevada First gift shop, we've added over 60 micro shops, giving locals a place to set up their dream store. We are now 20,000 square feet strong, supporting over 250 local merchants with all things made in Nevada and more. We have more locals in one place than anywhere in the state, ready to help you find that perfect gift. We're open every day with easy parking at Peckham and Virginia. Go to buynevadafirst.com, your source for all things local.
Did you realize that radio advertising doesn't cost? It pays. America Matters Media has an opening for a person who would like to represent our sales department on a full or part-time commission basis. Prior sales experience preferable. So, if you have good presentation, negotiation, organization, and communication skills, America Matters wants to talk to you. Contact Eddie Floyd, 775-384-4444. Do it today.
Call Sursic Dental because you're worth it. They can make your smile perfect. You're gonna love your new smile. Sursic Dental for a perfect smile.
Sursic Dental has a $125 special that includes a cleaning, x-rays, a free Sonicare toothbrush, and a free cosmetic makeover consultation.
Sursic Dental for a perfect
Call
smile.
827-1113.
Oof, now she's gone like a little.
Want to expand your advertising dollar? Sponsor this or any America Matters program by calling 775-827-8900, extension 2. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. This is What's the Story, and it is our Bookhound segment. Time for the Book Blitz. We've got some great books to recommend to you, and I'm actually going to go first today because I want to make sure I get mine in because you guys are always so good at what you do, and I don't always get to jump mine in. But this one is one that was sent to me today, and I haven't had a chance to read it, but I'm really interested. I read the intro and prologue, etc. It's called Conspirators' Hierarchy, the story of the Committee of 300. And this is truly, I mean, you're going to have to put your tinfoil hat on for this one, but it's from an intelligence officer that really thought that the United States would know about a lot of these organizations, groups that were out there when he'd been in other countries working, and then he came back. This was in the 70s, 80s, roughly. And at that point was like, wait a minute, nobody even really understands this, right? So he was recognizing that, I'm just going to give you a little bit of the synopsis. Can you imagine an all-powerful group that knows no national boundaries, above the laws of all countries, one that controls every aspect of politics, religion, commerce and industry, banking, insurance, mining, the drug trade, the petroleum industry, a group answerable to no one but to its members? To the vast majority of us, such a group would appear to be beyond the realms of possibilities and capabilities of any given organization. If that is what you believe, then you are in the majority. The conception of a secret elite group exercising control of every aspect of our lives is beyond our comprehension. Americans are prone to say, it can't happen here, our Constitution forbids it. That there is such a body called the Committee of 300 is graphically told in this book. So I'm going to stop right there because I want to remind you guys about when we had Maria Zack on. And that was actually the video that they deleted. They told us we violated, they put it back on since. They'll probably delete it again now with this show, right? Just my little book. So that's really what this guy is referencing in a different way than what Maria's guy from France was talking about, but the same concept, that there is a group, and he claimed that he'd been in the room, and I heard this guy talk. He claimed he'd been in the room. He heard them talking about this type of situation. They were in control, and this was not just the United States or just some European country. This was the world. So, I think it's going to be an interesting book to read because we've had that conversation, and I'm a little more knowledgeable than if I'd read this, 10 years ago. So I wanted to share it with everybody. As I said, it's called Conspirators' Hierarchy, The Story of the Committee of 300, Dr. John Coleman. And yes, LaRue can get this book for you. It is like $19.95 for a paperback. So, and it's an older book. It's from this one is 2016. So anyway, I just thought I would share that one with you.
Awesome.
Okay, perfect.
Who's next?
Okay, I'll go. This dovetails into what we were talking about, and I don't want to leave on a negative note about happiness because my book is
Don't do it then. Right? Don't lock me in that box, right? Don't lock me. Be happy.
Right. This is the happiness advantage, how a positive brain fuels success in work and life. And it was 2018, so it's only 4 years old. So, and it's by Sean Anker, and I don't know if that's a guy or a gal.
Yeah, hard to know, right?
Yeah. So anyway, but this is off of their website, and it says happiness is not the belief that we don't need to change; it's the realization that we can. And it says the most commonly held formula for success is broken. I hate this expression, conventional wisdom. Well, no, I don't know what conventional wisdom is, but
that's excuses for not achieving.
Yeah, exactly. Conventional wisdom holds that once we succeed, we will be happy. That once we get the great job, win the next promotion, lose 5 pounds, happiness will follow. That's the broken premise, and I agree with that. But science,
so who thinks that way?
Pardon?
Who thinks that way?
I don't know.
I think the media does, and I think they feed us that.
Yeah.
And the poor young people, when they're first starting out, because you have to trust somewhere, you kind of trust those things, and you're like, well, how come that didn't work? Until they figure it out, and then they say, "Oh, because that's not the way it really is."
Right.
This is this is the
it's
premise.
not reality.
This is the premise of the book. But the science reveals this formula to be backward. Happiness fuels success, not the other way around. And this, I like this. This is a quote from Dr. Seuss, of all people. It says, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. One of the keys to happiness is a bad memory."
I get you. I got it. It took me a second.
So,
How many ratings? How many ratings for this? Because I forgot to tell my ratings.
5,500.
Ooh, you got me beat way.
Yeah, and this is 4.7 out of 5.
Yeah, well, this is a 764 ratings, and it looks like a 4 point something. I don't see what the
4.7 out of 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're funny.
You guys are the funny. Look at these. Right.
Again,
this reminds me. Remember when you were in high school and you did these charity drives, right? And we'd raise money, and they put the amount in like a thermometer style.
Right.
That's
I
what
remember
this
that.
reminds me of.
Yeah, but you still look. Can't help it.
I get it.
Go ahead.
All right. So my book of the day is all diet and nutrition books. And why do I say all? Because I bet 0.001% of folks have any kind of those books around. Folks, take note of your nutrition, right? I talk about fat and people eating too much and walking around fat. Well, I'm about to be an empty nester and I don't have to worry about my son eating. I can focus on me eating and me getting nutrients. And Jan is so kind. I'm actually proofing a book for her and an author. And the author is an awesome gal. Very interesting stuff. But folks, think about food. Eat nutrition. Eat nutritious foods. Be good to yourself. Quit going to Burger King. Quit going to McDonald's.
I want you to know Jay's in there just screwing up her face and making funny faces.
So what's the nutritional value of a double Whopper?
That's right. When I worked for
about that.
When I worked for
it needs to be.
Yeah.
We need to be about nutritional food.
When I worked for Pasadena Fire, once a year they would send you for a physical. And they commonly had what was called a fat letter. If you were overweight, you would get a fat letter. Well, this one guy who's a captain at their number one station, his name was Bill. I won't use his last name. He was overweight. And they said, he was. And they said, hey, Bill, did you get a fat letter? And he goes, yep. What are you going to do? He says, I don't know. I ate the letter.
So, right. Did they put him on a Peloton and watch the other firemen throw stuff at him? I mean, there needs to be some kind of ego penalty.
But see, it isn't all about that. It just isn't.
No, well, what just motivates people into doing what's good for them?
Right. And that's the thing. Yes, I agree with that.
I am at an age now where I'm just going to eat what I want.
He's just blowing your whole thing.
No, it's all good. I'm just not that old yet.
This is the same thing where if I was on a motorcycle, I wouldn't have a helmet. And when I drive my car, I won't put my seatbelt on. What do you think of that?
So that's the deal, man. If you're on the back of a motorcycle, it doesn't matter what you think.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just saying you're hanging on for the ride.
That's right. If you're on the back. Ooh.
That's right. And best I know, you got no control.
You have none.
Just like a Burger King.
Just lean. When they say lean.
All right.
Lean.
Okay.
Don't try to balance it out by going the other way.
I'm going to amend this. From now on, when I go to Burger King, I will have my helmet on and wear my seatbelt.
What kind of ratings do they have?
Burger King, 4.7.
Oh, come on. Pick up Burger King Day, isn't it?
It is. He's helping them.
So the one thing about Burger King that I really value
we got another voice here.
is you can have it your way.
I'm a Burger King girl.
Right?
But the double cheeseburgers used to be $1.99. Now they're almost $4. So that's how much it's gone up at Burger King.
So
but
fewer people will eat now at Burger King.
And I would think that those are empty calories. That's where I'm going. Is that right? So bread is fortified,
but
they take all the stuff out and put it back. You do maybe have some meat in those burger patties, but that's all you get,
it's
right?
Comfort.
We need the vegetables.
Hey, Ed, it's comfort. We need comfort. We need cuddling.
But comfort food's killing us. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm still alive.
It's the extremes. That's the problem. It
All
isn't
right.
eating it's eating to the extreme.
Put gravy on it.
All right. Next Tuesday, I'm bringing a dozen donuts. That's it.
You knew he'd say that. All right. See you next week. Thank you.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. I'm here to warn you about telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Some of these scammers may say threatening things like you will be arrested if you don't make payments or provide personal information. Do not fall for these tricks. These calls are not from us. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you for information or money. If you receive a call like this, hang up. Never give the caller your personal information, like your Social Security number or bank account, or send money in any form, cash, gift cards, wire transfers, or prepaid debit cards. Report the call to our law enforcement arm, the Office of the Inspector General, at oig.ssa.gov. Share this information with your friends and family.
1 in 3 adults in America have prediabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Here's 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living Ben has mom my. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes. Start by taking a simple 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Bet he can't say that in reverse.
This is America Matters Media at 93.7 FM, KPGF Sun Valley, and AM 1060, KFOY Sparks, Nevada.
USA Radio News with Tim Berg.
President Biden is spending time back at his Delaware home, this after a one-week vacation in South Carolina. The president did spend some time in Washington, D.C. on Tuesday. At the White House, the president signed into law sweeping legislation that is supposed to lower prescription drug prices, boost the renewable energy sector, and impose new taxes on large corporations.
The bill I'm about to sign is not just about today, it's about tomorrow. It's about delivering progress and prosperity to American families. It's about showing the American and the American people that democracy still works in America.
Wall Street giving the thumbs up to Tuesday. At the closing bell, the Dow rising 239 points to close at 34,152. This is USA Radio News.
Whether you're taking your pets on the road or a walk around the block, you need to be aware of heat stroke. Hi, I am Dr. Jose Arce, immediate past president of the American Veterinary Medical Association. It's important that pets get out and enjoy the warm weather and fresh air, but here are some reminders to help keep your pets safe in the heat. Tune into the day's forecast to see how hot it will be. Limit exercise on hot days or schedule walks earlier or later on the day when it's cooler. If outside, stay on the grass instead of the hot pavement. Make sure your pet has unlimited fresh water and access to shade. Never leave your pet in a closed vehicle, and leave your pet at home in air conditioning when you go out. If you see signs of heat strokes in your pet, such as excessive panting, drooling, unsteadiness, or abnormal gum and tongue color, call your veterinarian or nearest emergency clinic. For more info on summer pet safety, visit avma.org. That's avma.org.
The Biden administration is signing off on exports that have some Republicans on Capitol Hill scratching their heads.
With China as a top national security threat, President Biden's Commerce Department surprisingly approved almost all requests to export to the communist nation. It includes semiconductors, aerospace components, and artificial intelligence technology. From the West Coast USA Radio News Bureau, I'm Lance Pry.
Another record has been set on the southern border. Federal agents have arrested more than 1.8 million illegal immigrants so far this fiscal year. That beats last year's total, and there are still 2 months left of reporting. With the continued flow from Central America, it's likely the Border Patrol will top 2 million arrests this year. That's never happened before. The latest numbers show about 7 out of 10 of those caught are single male adults looking for work. You're listening to USA Radio News.
Hi, I'm Wayne LaRoute. If you like my radio show, you're going to love my podcast, War Raw. Each podcast, I present my top 10 most outrageous, salacious, and controversial stories of the week. I break down the best of the best, raw truth stories for conservatives, libertarians, patriots, taxpayers, Trumpers, and deplorables. Anyone who appreciates God, guns, gold, and tax cuts will stand up and cheer for War Raw. Check out this week's War Raw podcast right now. It's available to download at iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, or wherever you listen to podcasts. War Raw. War Raw.
As kids head back to the classrooms, many schools are looking to combat teacher shortages. Florida is increasing salaries for educators and opening a pathway program for military and first responders to become teachers. Florida Commissioner of Education Manny Diaz says he supports the pathway program as those eligible have skills ready-made for the classroom.
You're looking at these professionals who have given their life to public service, and oftentimes they retire at an early age where they still have the incentive and the time to work. And what better place to have them than in front of our young people in a classroom?
The Chicago healthcare system settled the lawsuit by agreeing to award $10 million to healthcare workers who were fired or impacted by COVID-19 vaccine mandates. Appearing on Fox and Friends, Liberty Counsel founder and chairman Matt Staver suggests many other workers deserve compensation.
Many employers did the exact same thing with a jabber job, no religious accommodation provision. So when we filed suit, they resisted, but as we went more into discovery, it was pretty clear they didn't have a basis and they would lose big time.
Seattle will host the next Major League Baseball All-Star Game. On Twitter, the Mariners announcing the Midsummer Classic has been scheduled for July 11th, 2023. The American League has dominated the game as of late, winning 9 straight. For USA Radio News, I'm Tim Berg.
The following is an America Matters Media Encore presentation. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent those of the station, its advertisers, or management, but we think they should. And that's the opinion of America Matters Media.
Welcome to The Smooth Edge. Hi, I'm Lady J with music for a smooth ride home.
You shine like a star. You know who you are. You're everything beautiful. She's hot, hot like the sun. Lonely as one. It's everything beautiful. But I'll be goddamn standing at my door. We stayed up in the city till the stars lost the war. So Friday night, Holy Ghost, take me to your level. Show me the one I need the most. I need the most. I wish I knew you when I was young. I could have got so high. Now we're here, it's been so long. Two strangers in the bright light. Oh, I hope you don't mind. We can share my mood, yeah. Two strangers in the bright light. I wish I knew you. I wish I knew you. Oh, I wish I knew you when I was young. Truth is all that you need. You bury that seed. It's everything beautiful. And that sound comes from the underground. It's all inside you now. It's everything beautiful. What you running from? And they got you on the run. So Friday night, Holy Ghost, take me to your level. Show me the one I need the most. I need the most. I wish I knew you when I was young. I could have got so high. Now we're here, it's been so long. Two strangers in the bright light. Oh, I hope you don't mind. We can share my mood, yeah. Two strangers in the bright light. I wish I knew you. I wish I knew you. Oh, I wish I knew you when I was young. Maybe we can share my mood. Maybe we can share my mood. Maybe we can share my mood. I wish I knew you when I was young. I could have got so high. Now we're here, it's been so long. Two strangers in the bright light. Oh, I hope you don't mind. We can share my mood, yeah. Two strangers in the bright light. I wish I knew you. I wish I knew you. Oh, I wish I knew you when I was young.
Thank you for listening, Reno. You're on the smooth ride home with Lady J.